Welcome back, gentlemen, brothers, men, salute you. Why are you here? Never believe what a woman tells you. Gentlemen, brothers, men, I tell you this from the bottom of my heart. Never believe what a woman tells you. That's going to be this discussion today, and why this is a pitfall for most men, nice guys, alpha, natural, whatever you consider yourself to be, however much experience you have with women. If you have not learned this critical lesson, you cannot believe. Never believe, gentlemen, if you hear me. Don't believe what she says. I'm going to tell you exactly what to listen to, how to protect yourself, and how to be ready for this type of situation. But one thing you already know, if you're a man dealing with women in your life, it does not take long before you learn this lesson, fellas. Ask any brother with experience, any brother who's been around the way, who will be able to tell you it's absolute truth. You will get led down a rabbit hole. You will be led astray. You will be taken advantage of, all kinds of situations. And I'll tell you this, it's not even their fault. We're going to dive into the reason, it's not going to make sense, but I'll at least give you the evidence and information that you need, again, to protect yourself when dealing with these ladies. What am I talking about? Well, sometimes, women, they don't always say what they mean, or you simply can't take what they say at face value. They may have said something, but the way we process as men, it's going to operate a little different. Logical, pragmatic, straightforward, direct. And we're talking about women. We're talking about the other side of the coin. We're talking about that femininity, feminine energy. So I want to give you the insight and understanding to be able to navigate this. So I'm going to explain why this is, give you the tools and secrets, make sure you stay to the end. I'm going to give you four absolute tools that you need to put in place today to make sure that you are protected, make sure that you are sound, safe, secure with the empire that you're building up, building yourself as the best version of a man so that you can handle these ladies in your space. I am masculinity architect Duwayne Langham. This is the channel that's all about the MGM standard, mature, grounded, masculine energy, teaching you the tools to be the leaders and the men you've always wanted to be. You have just tuned in for this week's Live at 5 weekly discussion where we go direct with the masculinity architect, all about never believing what women tell you. Never take her words for face value. Don't trust it, brother. I'm trying to let you know. Might relate if, fellas, maybe you're in high school, you got a high school crush, and you finally get the balls to ask, and they say they would give you the number. They say they give you the date, and they flake. They don't come through, leaving you on red. No responses. They're out of communication. No communication is communication. Or maybe, just maybe, right? You're reading profile after profile in the dating game, and you notice women are saying these things. I'm celibate. I'm in my season of celibacy. I'm dating with a purpose. Or maybe you get on the date, and she lays out the rules, right? 3 dates, 90 days, got to be in a relationship, need to be something exclusive before the loving and intimacy comes into play. Okay. But on the other hand, maybe word has gotten around and you know who this young lady is, how she really get down, what the reputation is on the streets. Maybe she's for the streets, but why? Why then am I getting another, what's the bait and switch? I don't understand. Stay tuned. We'll get to it. So maybe you've gotten to know a young lady, right? Maybe you think she's got some potential. You like where things are going, except, and this is a big but, you get into conversations about her history with men, starting with her father, maybe past relationships. Maybe you start to hear some patterns that sound a little suspect. What is it about this girl? I thought from what I was seeing, from what she was saying, but she tells stories and there's this common denominator. Everybody's toxic. Everybody was taking advantage of her. She's seeming like the victim. What is this? I don't know if I believe. Wait a minute. Well, what's that body count? Oh, let that conversation come up. Yeah, you really get some truth. What you can believe. Now, I'm not going to break down the math and calculations and what the averages say of where to count on that or why you don't even need to worry about those conversations. I do get it, brothers. Her past may be your future. So you definitely want to vet these things. But I want you to understand it's not going to be so simple as to you just asking. And I will tell you exactly why. What's the female psychology, the feminine nature? What is it that you're up against when these conversations come up? It can get tricky to understand this dance. Maybe, just maybe, you are already in a relationship, years in. Maybe it's even a marriage, something committed, long-term, children, family, legacy building, all that good stuff. But lately, the love of your life has you fucking confused because things seem to be shifting. And no matter how hard you are putting in the work, showing up for the things that she says that she needs, showing up and doing the things that you see need to be done, she keeps getting worse and worse. The dynamic keeps getting worse and worse. She seems to be pulling far away. You feel like you're losing your best friend, your partner, what you had before. She's not the woman you were with before. They say that women get with men hoping that the man will change. They're investing in the potential. And men, we get with women hoping that they will never change. See, we're that constant. And that's part of the problem there. We expect them to be like us, and vice versa. Women are doing the same thing. They expect, thinking that we are women with penises. Vice versa, if you as a man, why this conversation is pertinent, you're looking at her like a grown adult who happens to be a woman, and so you're viewing her as a man with a vagina. It's not how it works. She is a woman. She is feminine. They operate completely different. If you don't educate yourself to that, you will get led astray. If you've ever heard this before, the goalpost keeps moving. This conversation is exactly why. 4 simple principles that'll give you all the walls, shield, protection, and armor to keep yourself safe from getting strung up in the words of women. As I said earlier, we are all adults. But one thing you need to understand, even though women are even big on men being good communicators, being honest, well, then you may ask yourself, why the hell can't I trust her? Why the hell can I take her word for it? Why is this masculine architect guy telling me never, brother, never take that woman for her word? Never trust what a woman is telling you for face value. Why is that? How does that work? Make it make sense. See, the difference in men and women, men were logical. We are direct. That is our masculinity. Logical, pragmatic, straightforward, quick, affirmative. Give me what I need for the action. Feminine, on the other side of the coin, is indirect, illogical, based on feelings and emotion. So you first got to understand, fellas, the women that you are with, regardless of what society says, regardless of what the feminism conversation says about everybody being the same. No, we're equal. We are not the same. That is where you may fall off. When you start to understand, accept, and appreciate, get that last part, because you're going to have to drop the red pill rage. Yes, every woman in your life has showed up this way. Yes, all the disappointments. Fellas, we got to take responsibility. This is your life. These are your women. And this is your relationship that we're talking about. So you can be mad at the player, or you can understand the game, start getting the rules, so you can be the MVP. So you can win the game and get what it is that you want. That's what I'm talking to, fellas. Throw everything out the window about logic. Throw everything away that is integrity focused. Because I get it, right? We're men, we're brothers. I say something, I'm a man of my word, I'm going to do it. If this grown adult woman who wants me to be an honest communicator, who is doing all this additional communication, because feminine is the connection, feminine is the nurturing, feminine is all about communication, over communicating at times. Am I right, fellas? Well, yes, that's true. However, it's a different context for honesty. She's answering. This is where we start to understand women, understand the psychology. When she gives you an answer, when she says anything, you have to write this down, fellas. This is how she feels right now. 2 points there. For a man, this may be what you think logically, what you have processed, what you understand, what you know yourself to be capable of, and you're constant, you're grounded, you're masculine, you're not going to change. She's feminine, she's flowing, she thinks, no, she feels her way through life. That is how they're able to go with the flow. This is the nature of feminine energy, female nature. So when they speak, it's not that they're even lying. They're not all. Don't get me wrong. There's the outliers, diabolical, sinister, whatever the case may be, and you got to be aware of that. Again, your responsibility as the lead. But if you understand feminine nature, if you understand where women are coming from, she is answering you truthfully for how she feels right now. Feels and right now. Not how she thinks, not what she understands. And it does not mean forever. You can ask her the same thing next week, next month, next year, out of sight, out of mind. If she's not connected to that feeling. Now, if the circumstances around have not changed, and when I say circumstances, fellas, it's everything, all the small details. Remember, nurturing, connection. Who's asking the question? Who's hearing the answer? What circles is she around? Is this with her family, her father? Is this you and her one-on-one? Is this around her girlfriends? Is this around your friends? See, in each one of those scenarios, there's a different truth to the answer, because in each one of those scenarios, she has to be aware of how this feels. Now, why is that? This is subconscious, fellas. So they're not thinking this. I've already said it, but I want to really hammer down. They're not thinking about it. So don't try and bring this logic to a woman. Don't try to explain this to a woman. It's not that they can't comprehend. It's not like they don't have their own divine masculine. But please understand, that's not how they operate. So if you waste all your time in the red pill rage, if you waste all the time being upset, feeling taken advantage of, nah, brother, it's your responsibility. If you want to pick up and play this game, understand the rules. If you want to hop in and have women in your life, understand how they work. You got to read the owner's manual, fam. Don't bother bringing this to them. That is a waste. You're the lead. Complaints don't go down, they go up. So it's your job over here as the lead to understand female nature, to understand why and how she's operating. You can already hear it. Well, if I asked her this question under these circumstances, that's her truth in that moment. That is how she feels about what you asked. That may change tomorrow. That is not permanent. It is only feeling. Now, here's the part I really want you to understand, because this is where the power is. Female nature. The nature of feminine energy. Yours and mine, hers, your girls, your moms, your sisters, your daughters, all of it. Female nature is manipulation and influence. Let that sink in. Let it calm down. Now, with that, I want you to hear influence, positive, that's a positive context. Manipulation, it may start to get a little dark, may start to get a little shadow. And while it can, you are still responsible for yourself. This manipulation, no different than your children or when you were a child, the manipulation is getting the environment around you, the people, peers, connections, partners, whomever, to adapt, adjust, and change for you. Why is this? Because the ultimate goal of female nature is to protect its best interests. So now you're hearing the part that, yeah, that's just like you, just like me. We're human beings, protecting our vested best interest, living, being accepted socially. Remember, human beings, we're social creatures, let alone female, women, feminine. While all those things aren't the same thing, everything in the space of that is socially programmed, is socially expected to. And just like all human beings, the desire to not be ostracized, kicked out. You can't succeed in life without others. You can't make money because you can't sell anything to anybody. Can't get your medical things taken care of. You can't get service providers. You're going to need others to survive, to make it. This is ingrained stuff that nobody's actively thinking about. This is how women operate and navigate. This is everyone's female nature. What is in our best interest, and how can we manipulate or influence the circumstances to have everything around change? That's the power of feminine energy. It's not seen, it's influence, it's manipulation, it is indirect. It's chess moves. You don't necessarily see or know who made the move, but it happened. Whereas in masculine, we're logical, direct, give me the facts, and I'm going to get into action. You're going to know what's happening because I'm asserting my will. Fuck the world as I assert myself forward into it and make a difference. You know exactly who made the changes because I did it. Masculine is the grounded rock. Who am I? Circumstances are swirling in the world of chaos around it. I'm going to go impact that. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to build something. I'm going to put something in place. This is the way that masculine operates. This is what you are used to all of your life. You need to flip that coin over because you're bringing feminine into the space. When you can understand and accept that they're not lying to you, they're not evil, mean, bitches, cold-hearted, and all this. This is where I speak to the red pill rage. Because I'll tell you, fellas, I talk about it on this channel all the time. We're brought up in a time, place, and society where it is more natural for us to shun and feel shame and rejection of our very masculine essence and nature, which has very little outlet in modernity, in modern, peaceful, feminine-centric society where there aren't battles and wars on every corner, depending on the neighborhood that you're in. But if you're watching this 4K broadcast, odds are you're in a Western world, you're in someplace safe. And inside of that, everyday society does not require, rely on, or fully understand and value masculine energy. So inside of that, you have to have the understanding to get over everything you've been taught, learned, observed, to accept you may be operating more towards nice guy. You may be operating more towards simping. If you've got the storybook propaganda, media, everything that informs us to say that women are these wholesome creatures. Women are these pure creatures. They are the softer sex. They are the fairer species, the Disney princess, and everything else that has told you. Well, the way to do it, show her how big, strapping, and chivalrous you are. Give her everything. Let love lead you. If she falls in love, that's the ultimate goal, and she's going to be down for you, and everything's going to be good and happily ever after. That feels good, and that talks to the feminine side, but we're over here doing men's work. MGM, mature, grounded, masculine work. So if you're going to lead a relationship, lead a life that includes women, children, legacy, feminine in your space, you've got to be aware, you've got to be ready, you've got to protect yourself to understand that you can't just take a woman for their word. Now, I hope that paints the picture. That's the background, the information that you've got to accept. If you want to make any progress with women in your life, you've got to accept that they are built different. They're not men. And the way that they think and operate, this is why you don't trust what they're saying, because what they're saying is not a constant truth. What they're saying is processed and filtered through female nature, through being a feminine woman going through life. And that is not the same that you, a masculine, grounded man, is going to show up, who am I, constant at all times with the same answer and response, and the circumstances don't matter. Now we can kind of shift. Now you're clear. Now you understand the nature of the beast and what you're dealing with. So the first thing I got to tell you, fellas, is before you engage, get flat on this. Get clear that there is no misunderstanding. You need to know what you're doing when you're messing with these women. Back dab in the middle. We're about to turn a corner, wrap things up. I told you and promised I've got 4 steps, and I've got them right here. We're going to cover all that. If you haven't already, you know what you need to do. Hit that like, hit that thumbs up, share it with the brother you think can use some of this information. You've seen him been taken advantage of. You see him getting divorce raped. You see him trying to start over. You see him out here in this dating game, and he's doing it all wrong. He's believing what women are saying. He's getting taken left and right, spending his resources, time, effort, energy, and women that don't even care about him. You cannot believe what they say, and maybe this is the wake-up call that he needs to get. Share it, send it to him. I'm about to get into some simple steps, guys. I promise this. I want to make it simple that you can apply today and get yourself on track. But this is going to protect you from the foolishness of ending up being a man, listening to a woman for her word and taking that as reality. Well, she said it. I mean, she told me. Bruh, you can only call yourself foolish for believing that. Go amongst some trusted, experienced men with women, and they will tell you this is par for the course. One of the distinctions in my work, she is just another woman. And I don't say that to take anything away, but a lot of times, guys, it's been said in so many ways. If you came up in this nice guy era, if you came up in this feminine-centric Western modern culture, you've got pussy on a pedestal. You've got women higher than thou. Or here's the challenge, is because masculinity, manhood has been pushed so far down in society, you don't have a step to stand on, to be 10 toes down in your value, your worth. And if you understand that alone, that helps correct it. But if you've got it that she's the most important thing, that the woman, your arm candy, whoever's with you, is the most important thing, that grabbing a baddie tells you your validation, that you're worth it, that others need to respect you, you're lost, brother. And I'll tell you, with that, you get in there and think it's this soft feminine space that wants you to provide and protect for, and everything's going to be happy-go-lucky after that because you got together, you guys are pretty compatible, you like each other, you got the same views and values, and that's it. We're set. We're good, right? I do, you do, two deaf dogs part. We're good to go. Nah, brother. And I mean that, brothers. I don't care if it's been 10 years. I don't care if it's been 20 years. I don't care if it's been 50 years. Female nature. How do I feel? What is life right now? Is always the question. And it doesn't matter how long you've held it down. It doesn't matter how much you have done. It doesn't matter how good of a man that you have been. If you allow her feelings to run the show, then you are not leading. She's not following you, and you're following what she says. Now, I want to be clear with that and be responsible. It does not mean by any means that she's not to be respected. It does not mean that she's not to be cherished. It does not mean that she's property or possession or something lower than. They're not above, we're not above. It is dead fucking even. We got to get rid of the gender wars. We got to stop pushing the problems to the other side of the fence and just be with the truth of understanding each other so that we know how to proceed in a healthy way. And my brothers, I've got to help y'all because we need some assistance. Nobody showed us the way. So that's what we're here to dive in about. Now, the things you got to do, grow up and accept the facts. Women are just built different. Get mad, get your temper out, keep it to yourself. Don't vent. Don't tell them about themselves. Don't try and correct them. Don't try and teach them. You are bucking against the system. This is just the way of things. You're trying to go upstream, and that's a battle that you don't want to fight, guys. Just understand that women are built different. Respond and act accordingly. Make your adjustments over here, and you'll be fine. But again, I want to remind you, this does not make them good, bad, right, wrong. They're not evil. They don't mean to take advantage of you. And female nature, manipulation and influence, is always only concerned with its best interest. The reason they cast that vote, they get on your team, they follow you, they back you, they support you, they submit to you, because you're in their best interest. That's why I said it don't matter if it's 20 years down the road. The second you're not in her best interest, the second there are better options, hypergamy, whatever calculation you want to look at, she's gone. Because female nature, what is life? This is so unhappy. He is so boring. He does not understand me. I don't feel heard. Doesn't matter how good the life has been. Doesn't matter how much you've taken care of. I'm trying to tell you, brothers, I've seen it with my own eyes. The best partner you could expect, the best marriage relationship you could expect. This is just truth. It don't matter the money that you got, the looks you got, the status you got. If you can't manage this with the women in your life, and it starts with just understanding women such that you don't take everything that they say, because they're coming from their emotions. And brothers, we know it. Emotions are temporary. Emotions are fleeting. Emotions are here and gone. So it doesn't really matter. But the constant has got to be your grounded masculine rock. And that's what you're leading behind. First thing you're going to do, fellas, get the experience that you need to understand how women operate, how they think. Most importantly, how they feel. Why? Because this is where you get the communication, the intel that's important for you. This is where you get the data and understanding. You need to experience as many women as logistically possible for your life. Now, I want to be responsible with that. That does not mean, fellas, that make your life obsessive about getting sex, women, dates, whatever. Does not mean you need to be doing cold approach all of your life. Keep a balanced and healthy life. This is why I say logistically feasible. If you got school, if you're building a business, if you got a career, if you're wherever in your life, just live your best life, but don't neglect the conversation of managing women, because the least experience that you have, the least success that you will have. You will not know the ropes, not only of how you respond to a woman, what you want from women, but actually understanding women. Because here's another, feminine energy is the whole spectrum. Every single one woman you interact with is the whole spectrum of emotion, energy, humanity. The ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, the smiles, the laughter, the tears, the anxiety, the joy, all of it. And guess what? On top of that, every single woman is different. And we already touched on, based on the circumstances, how old they are. Are they a mother? Do they have family? Do they have a partner? Are they in a relationship? Are they married? At every different phase, it will always be chaos. Now, chaos is not destructive. Chaos is just unknown, uncertain. The contrast and polarity to our masculine energy, we're always the same. You have to understand, brother, her feminine energy is always going to be changing, always going to be fluctuating, always dealing with the right now. How does it feel? So if you don't have the reps of understanding, if you don't have experience with that, so no, I'm not just saying get notches on your belt. That information has been put out there and it is valid to a degree. This is why I responsibly say it's not just getting notches. It's not just breaking hearts. It's not just having a bunch of women. It's not being a player. It's none of that. Get the experience. And this is something you got to evaluate for yourself, that you understand how women operate. You hear what they say and you see how they react. You see how they respond, what they actually do. Now, this is critical because this is how you get to understand their feelings. And if you understand a woman's feelings, if you can make her feel something, oh, lock and key, it's a wrap. Bruh. You want to know the secret? However you want to look at this, right? Pookies, Ray Rays, Tyrones, Chads, alpha male, whatever distinction guys have out there. What that is really speaking to, why those men are the most powerful and most successful with women, because they leave feminine on edge. So detached from all the experience, from the abundance of women, for whatever reason it is. They are so detached. I could care less of how this goes because I'm leading my life. I'm doing my thing. Call him an asshole, call him a jerk, whatever, which leaves her uncertain, which leaves her feeling, it's not a logical thought process, of course. That's why guys can be broke, they can be criminals, they can be whatever else, but they can still get in there because she feels like he is valuable. She feels like he's in demand. Bad boy, pretty boy, wanted by other women, feminine approval, social proofing. Those are the things that are attractive. When you are all about her, when you care enough and you are taken by her words, this tells her, it makes her feel, he said this, and logically it sounds right, it sounds good, but that makes me feel like he ain't got no other options. Like he doesn't have any other women. So yeah, I'll be nice and say, since you asked me, I don't want to be rude. Here's my number. Here's my Instagram. Yeah, we can have a date, and I'm not showing up because it feels like you ain't got nothing better to do. Feels like nobody else wants to be with you. And because I said something, and because you're showing up butthurt in your feelings, you see all these tests in the background. This is subconscious, brother. She's not thinking this through. She is feeling her way through and responding accordingly. So at any time, if anything is off place, it's because the feelings you have left her with, what she feels about you at any given time, is giving you the temperature that you're getting. So you need to understand how she feels so that you can act accordingly. And when you can guide how she feels, when you can make her feel something, brother, she's yours. You can give her those good feelings. You can give her that tension even. It's not going to make sense. I told you that. We're talking illogical. We're talking in the female nature, feminine space. It's emotions. If she can feel uncertain, does he like me? Am I good enough? That is what draws her in closer. That is what makes the cat chase after the yarn. That is what lets her know that you have a higher value socially in the dating market. You're not so raptured in her. And the things that she says and does in her emotions does not sway you. Oh, you like this? Well, I like that. I'm going this way. Oh, but let me, feminine, needing to be accepted, wanting to be claimed, wanting partnership, companionship, building a legacy. Her access to that is through you and your commitment. And if she doesn't get right, she can get left. She knows this. And no, she doesn't think about it. No, she's not going to tell you. However, ask her about a hypothetical. Women love hypotheticals. Let them feel the scenario. Would you do this in this situation? And in that, you can do an A and B test. Make some shit up, completely opposite, and see what she thinks and how she says. Say it logical with the facts, information, and data. Ask it a different way and make sure that she understands that she would feel differently in this scenario. This scenario may be the exact same thing, but if it's tied to the feelings, I guarantee you her vote will be different. This is what you need to pull in, and this is why I put it as number one. Brothers, if you don't have this experience, you out here playing the game without reading the instructions. You're going to break something. You're going to go broke. You're going to break your heart. You're going to break yourself. It's not going to work. So first things first, get the understanding of feminine nature. Get the understanding of hypergamy. It's not your looks. It's not your money. It's not your status and success. It is your masculine energy and how that shows up and how it makes her feel. If you can master that, cut above the rest. You'll be good to go. Number two, fellas, to not believe, to protect yourself from believing the words of a woman. After you've got that experience with women, you start to know and understand women. Now, fellas, and only then can you start to distinguish what you like. Because I'll tell you this, fellas, part of that nice guy, part of that programming, everything that's been feminine-centric in society has you operating in scarcity. Operating that you don't have value, that you aren't worthy, you're only as good as what you've done lately and how you perform because you don't understand the game, and therefore you are in scarcity. You are looking to get lucky. You are feeling she's out of your league, above your pay grade, whatever you want to call it. Operating from there, because you lack the experience, you don't really have choice. That soft feminine nature, soft body, soft appearance, maybe cooking food, whatever aspects of femininity, you need to be able to sample and get your feel for all of it. As men, masculine, we need to experience so that we can learn. Oh, this is what I like. I don't want the baddie. I don't want the BBL. I don't want the superficial on Instagram and socials, OnlyFans, whatever, tatted up, stripper. I don't actually want that. That's a headache. Have you dealt with these women? Oh my God. So when you get the experience, when you actually get to know women, when you actually get to know your tastes, get to know who you are, then you can start to distinguish what you like and want from the women in your life. That allows you to start setting standards. This also is going to help build into the type of man that you want to be. Are you holding doors, being chivalrous because you want to? Or is it because a Disney movie or your mom or other women have told you? She stood at the door. So I don't know. I guess I gotta be a gentleman. Let me go get. Nah. But if that is how you own the space, your feminine that's in my space, under my protection, coverage, and containment, yeah, they don't need to worry about opening a door. They don't need to worry about paying a bill. They don't need to worry about getting a check. I got it. If that's what you own, but distinguish that for yourself, is the first date a big issue? Do you need to just take them out for coffee and get to know them? Like, these are the things that you need to come to understand as a man. So please follow the steps, stick to it. The last thing about point number 2, getting those standards set up, communicate that shit. Lay it down. That is your masculine role. You say how it goes in your life. You say how it goes with your women. You say how it goes in your relationships. So when you can communicate your standards, your beliefs, your values, unabashedly, brother. Don't be kind of, well, if you like, or I never really thought and considered, or she says one thing and you flip it back and, well, because I want to get in there. Nah, bro. You need to stand 10 toes down. You need to be about yourself and what matters to you. These need to be your standards, and you need to communicate them powerfully. Stand on business for it. Right into point number 3. Get in a position where you can remain grounded with your own perspectives and emotions regardless of what she says, regardless of where her emotions go. She doesn't like your boundaries. She doesn't like what you said. She doesn't like your choices. Cool, bet. Continue living your best life and let her respond and react accordingly. Again, she can get right or she can get left. It's not a threat. You're the lead. You're the big, bad, masculine energy. You know what a lead is? A lead is something nobody wants. Everybody wants the easy button. Everybody wants to be able to get on the coattails of somebody going somewhere. Everybody wants to have a leader step up and make decisions, choices. Feminine energy especially cannot decide. Fear of FOMO, fear of missing out, cannot make a decision, cut off one option or left. That's the hardest thing in the world. What do you want for dinner? Put it to the test if you don't believe me. But see, when somebody comes up and make a choice, oh yeah, let's have some Mexican. Right, wrong, doesn't matter. You're willing to step forward. You're willing to communicate your boundaries, your standards. You're willing to stand for you, whether or not she follows or not. Now, how can you work on that? Because there's a whole world of it. Research stoicism. Look into being grounded and calm. Develop your own inner peace and emotional stability. You're going to need this, fellas. Because I kind of touched on it, the containment of masculine energy that's going to hold space, set the parameters for that feminine. You're going to need to provide, protect, and cherish that feminine. And that feminine, just another woman, not her fault. It's not a bad one. You don't need to throw them away. But their emotions, for all of them, are going to fluctuate, are going to go in and out, up and down, all the time, all around, no matter what. With every phase of life, getting to know her, dating her, relationship, family, marriage, empty nest, kids, whatever the cases are, at each and every stage, she may be a different woman, and you need to be ready for that because you need to be the constant rock inside of that. You need to be able to be centered, calm, cool, and collected to make the choices of an executive, execute, act. This is where we're going. This is what we're doing. You're responsible for that no matter what. Do we work? You've heard lessons here on this channel talking about love. A man who's swept away in love, all about love, is doomed. Well, it's factual because you need to be grounded. Your job is being grounded in your macro. Do we work? Logical, pragmatic, data. If you get off in, but I love her. But that ass though, the way she makes me feel. And that's where you're making your decisions from? The words that she says in your ear and how that makes you feel? No, brother. You are the logical. You are the pragmatic. You are the leader. And so inside of that, you need to be grounded. Regardless of what happens, you got to be 10 toes down, standing on what you know is important. Stand up for your business. Getting down to number 4, fellas. This is how you protect yourself from taking a woman for her word and getting led astray. Be the lead. Be willing to walk away is what I mean by that. A leader is doing it his way, no matter what. If she doesn't want to follow, cool. Again, I explained the psychology of it. It shows that you have options. It shows that you have power. It shows that you know your worth. You know your value. You're not willing to put up with anybody's shit, and you're not looking to follow anybody's lead. I didn't put a disclaimer at the beginning because, MGM status, we're all about mature, grounded, masculine here. But this is for the men who are looking to lead in life, looking to lead a relationship, looking to have a submissive, feminine woman who wants to follow your lead. If that's not what you're looking for, don't worry about what I'm talking about. If that's what you want, you're going to need to be able to lead and show and demonstrate that you can walk away. That's not puffing your chest, talking smoke. That's not just saying, oh, you want me to leave? No, you need to show it. Show it by communicating your boundaries. And if she steps out of them, back away. Let her know, cool, calm, and collected. Look, I let you know what this is. This doesn't work for me. You stepped out and done that. And consequences and actions. Show her in your grounded world of word, integrity, logic. It's not a punishment. It's not an acting out. You're not even doing it to have her come back. You're doing it because for you, these are the rails that this train is on. And we about to leave the station. Here's the white gloves approach. Let me get your bags, madam. Leave you here. Au revoir. Like that's it. And that confidence, willingness to walk away. If you go back up when we were talking about the nice guys, talking about the simps, talking about guys who can't walk away, carry a big stick and you ain't swinging for nothing. You tell her, you better not, but you're going to be sitting right there. You're going to be dealing with her bad behavior. Why do they say if a woman cheats and you stay, ultimate sign of disrespect, she will never respect you again. She is just waiting on the partner that she's going to go off and live her best life with. If a better option comes along, you are gone. Because that amount of disrespect, she then can't respect you. If you don't respect her as your woman, owning the space for you being respected, owning the space for your words being respected on all these counts, that's why they say if respect is gone, that woman is gone. So brother, you got to stand strong for yours, be a lead, be willing to walk away. Now, what this does is trigger your value. It triggers her to understand he's the prize. He's the lead. He's showing up doing something of value. And if I want to get on that train, excuse me. No, I've got my pass. Can I please get stamped on? They got to play by the rules. How you do that is up to you. But with that, fellas, you've got the 4 tools. You've got what you need. And I hope you've got the understanding, the education, the knowledge, the data, the information. Go out there and put it to application in your life this week with the women all around you. Test it with your mom, your auntie, your grandmother, your daughter, your sister, your girl, your friends, all of it, because they will all give you the data back and you're going to find that it's all true. In the meantime, fellas, like I said, grab a copy of that book, Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, Divine Energy. It'll help you understand these conversations and these distinctions that I'm dropping every week. It's absolutely free. Check it out in the store. If you have questions, if you've got challenges showing up, drop them down, DMs in the chats, and we'll catch it on the next live. But if you'd like support, book a consultation with me, one-on-one, give you the support of the architect. And in 90 minutes, I promise you, you're going to have a game plan. You're going to know exactly what's going on.